Welcome back to another episode of Lost in the Farmer's Market Garden Life, where today we're looking at this specimen here. And there's one over here too. It's off frame slightly, but not so much these red things in the back. The red things in the back are Dragon's Breath celosia, but this right here, and this is the first time we've had it in the test gardens, its scientific name is Ageratum houstonianum. Its specific variety is blue, which is probably the most unimaginative specific name for a plant you could think of because, duh, obviously. But anyway, its common name is bedding ageratum, though sometimes it's called annual ageratum, depending on how the labeling is. In all the texts I've read to get my Hort degree, it was always called bedding ageratum anyway. Especially, I believe, in Still's herbaceous plants. That book, Michael M. Stills. But anyway, it is in the Asteraceae family, which means this is actually a daisy. I know, it doesn't look like a daisy, but the leaves kind of do. The name Ageratum is derived from the Greek words a, meaning not in this case, and gyrus, old age, which refers to the fact that the flowers hold their color long after they're dried. So this is one of those old school dried bouquet plants as well. Some people call them old lady flowers. I don't think that's very fair. I mean, I like them too. But anyway, this plant is native to Mexico, which is interesting. I didn't know it was a native plant to the North America, Central America area, but I'm glad to know. Well, anyway, it is hardy in USDA zones 10 through 11. However, it is considered a useful annual in zones 2 through 11. So, I mean, it's got some pretty good range. Its pH preference is 5 through 6.0, though some sources say 6 to 7.5, which is weird because none of those sources seem to be a credible source. I mean, the spruce is okay, I guess, as a source, but apparently if it has too much alkaline, the plant has negative impact, and its seedlings are stymied in germination and growth if they're exposed to too much on the alkaline side of the equation. Its exposure is full sun to part shade, and out here it gets basically full sun. This is the side of the headquarters house, the building, the side of the garden that gets the laser sun. Also, the neglect zone is just a few feet to the left, so there's that. The height can be 6 inches to 2.5 feet, with a width of 6 inches to 1.5 feet. This right here is not one plant. This is actually 4 plants, tightly packed to get this effect. And this is why they're called a bedding ageratum. They'll fill in, they'll fill in and basically choke out any chance of weeds happening. Now, unless you have something that is fast-growing and aggressive, chances are they're going to run the show, which is what makes them great. They're also known as floss flower, which is because the flowers are kind of fuzzy pom-poms. Now, that flower structure is worthy of note because the flowers are what's called rayless daisies. They're basically, as I mentioned, in the Asteraceae family, so it is a daisy, but it's the daisy flower minus the petals. The petals are actually called rays. I know, it's kind of weird, but it's like the rays of a sun because the daisies are kind of sunshine-colored flowers a lot of the time. Anyway, the houstonianum is actually named for William Houston, or possibly pronounced Houston. I didn't see a pronunciation, I could be wrong, but he was born in 1695 and died in 1733. He was a Scottish physician who first collected this plant, the first European to collect this plant and bring it back. So it got named after him. The flowers, as I said, are rayless daisies, but they are really good, despite the lack of petals, for attracting butterflies and other pollinators. So that's what they're good for. I mean, most daisies are good at that, but these ones produce a lot more flowers than a lot of other daisies because they're smaller and to the point. Also, you don't really have to deadhead, but you can if you want to. I mean, deadheading does make the plants look tidier, but it's not absolutely mission critical. This plant tolerates damage from deer and rabbits pretty well. And lastly, it's super easy to grow. But what's interesting about this plant is that when you have it in a layer of mulch, sort of, it will side root into the mulch and produce an entirely new layer of buttress root. So it responds to applying compost mid-season. So beyond that, it may also root in water. I haven't tested that, but I will test it. If it's successful, you'll know because you'll see a video on it later. But anyway, beyond that, it's a pretty cool blue plant you can get for your garden. Now, they are available in other shades of blue. I believe there's a white one and I believe there's a pink one. I don't see those as much in the trade because they're probably not as vigorous as the original True Blue. But that's bedding Ageratum for you. So, if you have any thoughts on growing bedding Ageratum in your garden, please leave them in the comment section. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe. It helps the channel. As always, folks, thanks for watching. Keep them growing. Oh, and remember, the forage vlog is on hiatus till January. Again, thank you for watching.